Hey, here we go once again. Setting it straight with fam. Right here, I got my boys, Joshua and Jordan, here to fire up on them Cowboys. This is me, Bobby B. And man, we got a lot to talk about. Man, we've been gone for a while. I know you guys was asking, where were we? Were we right here? We were chilling. Yeah, we weren't getting the good things that we wanted to, but hey, we was there with you, Cowboy fan. Cowboy Nation, we was right there, sitting in the lap of agony. That's right. I wanted to say luxury, but luxury is not here. Not with them boys. There's a lot of things we're going to talk about today, man. Oh, my goodness. Can you believe what's going on in the Dallas world? Man, that defense. Whoo, that defense. What can I say about that defense? Well, you know, we got this game tomorrow. See them Cardinals, and we possibly playing at home. That's good because it seems like lately we don't do that well on the road. But I believe we could be a road game, home game, away game, or cross country game if we had a defense, ladies and gentlemen. I think we have the offense to go anywhere, but we need a defense. So I'm gonna let you guys go and talk about that, and because we got a lot of things to talking about. We're talking about the trade rumors that's out there right now, and then see what Jerry Jones going to do, and then what Dak wants when he want to talk about. He say, man, you know, basically, them boys need to stand up, man. They need to show out. I don't know what Dak was thinking, but Dak, man, if you hear me now, them boys can't show out,
Request a
man.
trade. Oh,
They can't show out, dog. What you need to do, you need to put that kind of energy and telling your boss to go and get somebody. No, to go and get somebody's because that's the only way you're gonna have a championship by the way you playing.
I thought they
Because
were
you don't
playing
have
Clark.
zero
Wait,
support.
what?
I'm here to tell you, but that's what it is, though. But okay, I'm gonna come on to you,
I thought
Jordan.
they traded. I thought they traded and got better. What?
That's
What?
exactly. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on, man. So Jordan, come on. I know you want to talk about that fabulous, one of a
Man, we
kind.
welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. we were gone, but we were not away. We was in the trenches. We had our notepads. We had
That's
our
right.
text messages going back and forth. Look, we might not have been on here because we got jobs. We got 9 to 5. Y'all subscribe, like, and share. So we can do this full time. Uh, but trust me, trust me. We was in the trenches. We got PTSD right now. We saw what was going to happen. We foreseen it in the crystal ball, and still we couldn't. Still, Jerry Jones couldn't prevent this from happening. I told you. I think the last podcast we were talking about that there's no way that they don't sign Mika. Look, that's how long it's been. It's been like 8 weeks since our last podcast. We talked about that there's no way that they couldn't, that they were not gonna re-sign Mika. And I told you, I don't know that something is different about Mika. Mika is not one of these other guys, who's gonna just abide by Jerry's rule. And what happened? He got shipped off, and he got he got shipped off, traded, booted to the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers, guys, Cowboys fans. How are y'all not upset about him getting shipped off to the Green Bay Packers? That Jerry Jones should be exiled for trading him to the Green Bay Packers. Jason Witten can't stand the Green Bay Packers. That's the only. Besides all that, he goes to the Green Bay Packers for two firsts and Clark, who coming off of an injury, and Jerry Jones told the fans to us that we got better because we're going to be able to stop the run with the defensive tackle who was 28 years old. He's going to be able to change the defense better than Mika did. It is what? It's October. No, it's not October anymore. Sorry, we've passed Halloween. It's scary hours now. We are in November, and our defense on the regular gives up 40 burgers. They just handing out burgers. Here you go. You want a burger? You get a burger. You get a burger. You get a burger. There's if you want to get your offense right, You can't wait to play the Dallas Cowboys. And you cannot get pressure. Oh my gosh, Jerry, you can't get pressure. Oh my gosh, I wonder why. Because you let the best pass rusher, the best the player who can cause pressure to go to Green Bay. You let him go to Green Bay when your whole defense is predicated around Mika Parsons. Your corners were so good because of Mika Parsons, able to demand double, triple teams, chip blocks, demand the quarterback knowing he has to have a clock in his head, he has to get the ball out fast. You had all of that in one person. Yes, he's not. Is I've been one of the persons to say I don't think Mika is a defensive end. No, because I don't think he's built like that. But you can use him in so many different ways. He's a linebacker, but they don't never play him as linebacker. He's more of a outside linebacker who can rush the passer, and that is his speed kills. And what he was able to do is able to allow the other players on your defense to feed off of his presence. What you allowed him to do is for those safeties and those corners, especially those safeties, those trash safeties that you guys keep force feeding us game in and game in and game out. When everybody in their grandmamas know, when people in the you got people in Dallas Cowboy legends in their grave rolling around because they could tell you that them safeties can't cover nothing. They can't cover nothing, not a thing. They couldn't cover my son if he was out there. Man, them safeties is trash. I don't know why you guys keep warning them out there. Man, put the dudes in wheelchairs can beat them, man. I don't believe T.O. when he said he can come play because I believe he can take the top off them safeties. Your corners were built for playing man and getting and when your defense gets pressure, playing with the lead because they're very good at playing with the lead because then Mika Parsons can really put the pressure on the team, and now you have to force the ball in the tight windows, force the ball up in the air, where you have a ball hawk like Diggs being able to get picked, and
Yeah,
you
no
have
more.
a shutdown. Not anymore. That's another topic we're gonna have to get to later. Then you got your guy over there, Bland, who you saw what happened when you let him play man. You saw what happened. Pick six to the house against your rival, the Redskins. It just don't make no sense. Why y'all keep doing this? But hey, what do we know? We're just fast sitting on the couch watching all 22 film, studying, watching other people, listening to other players break down the game so we can become more knowledgeable, looking on Twitter, reading the tea leaves, but we don't know what we're talking about because Jerry knows how to run this team because your general manager is your owner who is 80 plus and he thinks he can run the team better than anybody else in this league.
All
Yeah.
righty then. Hey, Jordan, why don't you tell us how you truly feel? My goodness, that was, man.
I'm,
So did you get it off your chest? Did you get it off your chest?
no, because there's some more things I gotta get off, but I'm gonna let Josh go because
I
All right, Joshua, this
see
is on you, my friend. Go
see
ahead on.
so I'm in the same boat with Jordan here. It's just it's pretty bad to be honest with you. You don't know if it's the players that share most of the culpability or if it's or if it's the defensive coordinator that shares most of the culpability.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm at the point now where it's like half and half. Where like which actually, you know what, to be honest with you, I'm putting more of the blame on the defensive coordinator, right? Because the players, yes, they're an aptitude. These players are not able to run your scheme, right? No matter how you simplify it down for them, but they can't run the scheme. So you're just going to have to get out of your comfort zone and you're going to have to switch it up. You're going to have to do some wholesale changes, right? For instance, Kenneth Murray, right? Linebacker. I've been saying this since day one. The linebacker core is the weakest of all the defense, and that's saying a lot. So
I
that's
don't know, Josh.
that's
You got the
yeah, you're right. The
safeties.
safeties, you're right.
Safeties
The
is right
safeties,
there. And
they
look,
do
the thing
have.
is, and the thing too, Josh, the safety's been boo boo since last year.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. However, Kenneth Murray, he can't think and run at the
Problem
same time.
child.
He can't think and run. So you giving Kenneth Murray the green dot is probably the worst thing to ever do because he's not a guy that has great processing speed. You know, like I think he needs to be like a will linebacker. somebody that can just attack and doesn't have to worry about what gap to attack. They're straight up. All right, for this play, I'm attacking this gap. I'm just a one type gap type guy, or either that, or I'm going to the flat. Right, nothing complicated because whenever the middle linebacker has a lot to process, not only does he have to figure out what type of uh, scheme that they're using, what type of play that the offense is using, but he has to get his defense at the same time. Do not give Kenneth Murray that. That is bad juju, right? So the only thing about it is Sanborn, right? And the funny thing about it is I was pooping Sanborn, his name all the time because of the fact that you know he wasn't good. But at least his problem was he's not athletic enough, but he has great processing power. Kenneth Murray he's a little bit more athletic, but I'm not trying to say he's dumb. So don't let me um don't let don't let me get away from that. But I will say this: he is not great at the middle linebacker. Don't even get me started on the defensive line too. Like Donovan Azaraku, by the way, kudos to the Dallas Cowboys for drafting him. Right, he is actually getting better and better and better and better when it comes to being just a defensive end. But Dante Fowler, where you at? Osa Digazua, and Jordan's going to be surprised when I say this. Kenny Clark, where are you at? You know, uh there's so many other ones, right? You're putting out uh you're taking out James Houston, but you're putting all these other players in there. And Sam Williams, don't even get me started on Sam Williams. Sam Williams needs to be on the bench. He needs to be on the bench. So does Kenneth Murray. They both need to be on the bench, right? So you're putting these players out here. The opposing quarterback has all day to throw, and then don't, as Jordan was talking about, the safeties. The safeties, they don't know whether they take horrible angles, right? Or, you know, as our good as one of the if you guys follow Vach Lombardi, he says the same thing too. He's like, hey, uh the play is going on the other side of the field, and then your safety is on the side of the field with Pam Oliver just talking it up because that's how bad these people angles these people are these safeties are taking. Jair Elam, I said Jair, Kyer Elam, not great either, right? He's not good at a lot of things. But like the Dallas Cowboys should have saw this. They get all these Heisman's, and they're like, oh yeah, they were successful on these other teams, so we're gonna get them, uh, and we're gonna make them better. Which been no history of the Dallas Cowboys making any defensive position better at all. So I don't understand why they fooled the fan base when the fan base should have been like, this is history in the making, and that's why I had the defense being the problem child of the Dallas Cowboys because it is bad. No matter how great the coach is, you still have to have some talent. But the horrible part about it is, not only do you not have talent, you don't have a good defensive coordinator that's actually making it so that way these guys can succeed. But at the same time, there's no talent. So it's like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? So like, it it doesn't matter. But I'm kind of interested if they do trade. I don't even think that one trade is going to change the outcome of this defense. This defense is so bad. When I say so bad, they are so bad, like
Look,
so bad.
it's yeah, they're so bad. First of all, look, Josh is not under Josh is not understating how bad they are. In total offense, in total yards allowed,
Defense.
they are 32nd. They're dead last. They allowed the most total yards in the NFL. They allow the most passing yards in the NFL. They allow the most rushing yards in the NFL. Everything that you could possibly be last at in the category, the Dallas Cowboys are. They thought they're not the worst. They're the second worst. They are literally the worst defense. This might be the worst defense of all time. And you know what the worst part is? What I found out last Sunday. Tony Romo was calling a game, and he was talking about how Matt Eberflus was the linebacker coach on the 2000 and I think it was the 14th season, where Tony Romo was an MVP candidate, and he had led the league. His offense was the number one offense in the league. Matt Eberflus was the linebacking coach then. So you telling me, Jerry, that you have evidence that this man was trash from Tony Romo days? Like, you wasted Tony Romo's career. As much flack as Tony Romo gets, as much flack as Tony Romo might not have been my favorite quarterback, he had years where he could have won, but it's the same position that Dak is in this year. The defense was always trash. The the corners, the safeties, whatever it was always something was always wrong. Why? Why, Jerry? I don't understand this at all. So now Matt Eberflus is your defensive coordinator, and it looks like nobody. This is why I was telling Josh offline too. I was like, we can't even be mad at the defensive players because we can't even be mad at the defensive players because it's like, bro, what? Like, they look confused out on the field. They look confused.
What they should
Com-
have done, like this, yeah, this whole deal, this whole ordeal here, where they're like, "Oh, we're gonna save these plays. We're gonna save these plays for the real season." You should have at least put some of your installs out in preseason because they weren't getting it. They weren't getting it at all. So now you are forced to play basic defense, but that plays into the hands of the opposing offense. If you're playing these vanilla defenses, it's bad. It's horrible, and this is what you're running into. There's no
yeah,
twist stunts. There's no nothing. This is why like all the quarterbacks are having all day to throw the ball,
bad,
and it's bad. Don't even get me
bad.
started on the run game.
First of all, can you tell me why corners are playing 10 yards off of receivers on third down? Can you tell
Yeah,
me why we're in the red zone and a linebacker passes off a receiver, and the linebackers are looking at each other in the face, the ball's going over their head, touchdown? Like, it doesn't
by the way, that
make
was Kenneth
any.
Murray. By the way, who
That,
that is
like,
playing.
can you tell me why Kenneth Murray keeps getting the start, even though game in and game out is proven that he just can't play linebacker with middle linebacker? Can, can you show me the tape where Kenneth Murray was ever the Mike linebacker and was successful in his NFL career, which has only been, I think, like 4 seasons? Can you show me why you keep putting everybody in horrible positions to make plays? And then when you get stuff that's successful and you somewhat stick to it, then the next game you completely abandon it. It's ridiculous how this man still has a job. Like, what are we gonna
I
do?
just yeah, I'm very curious to see if like come after next year, like what team's gonna want to get him? Like, like I don't understand because the stuff that the film that these players are putting out, I don't know if they realize that this is for your future jobs too. Like you taking horrible angles and stuff like that, and this is like last chance you, and you're doing horrible at it. So I don't know if Kyrie Elam's going to get signed anywhere. I don't know if Kenneth Murray's going to get signed anywhere. I think they're going to do another wholesale change next year. So like I this is bad. This you're hoping that Damari and Overshawn doesn't get hurt again, which is definitely unlikely. And you're definitely hoping that Siobhan Ravel is actually a really good quarterback, uh, like in his first couple of years, which is highly unlikely too. I mean, that's because he's removed from injury. So this is going to be This is going to be very interesting. That's all I'm going to say. This is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, interesting to say the least. It's going to be really interesting because not only that, but you also, so yeah, because of this defensive coordinator, we don't know what any of these players' true capabilities are. And I understand Diggs being very frustrated, and now uh they have to put Diggs. Well, they put Diggs on IR. And I think Diggs is just fed up with this organization,
That
same way Mika
is
Parsons is. So, and I think they want to disguise it as and try to put the blame on Diggs. But And then the fans want to get on Diggs and talk about, well, Diggs gives up yards and gives up touchdowns. And I'm like, are we kidding? Diggs is the last thing we should be worried about when it comes to this defense. Are you who? Why are you bringing up Diggs' name? You talking about the guy who got the most interceptions? Oh, but he gave up the most yards. Technically, yes and no. But turnovers that he not that year that happened, the defense wasn't the worst defense in the league. I tell you that much. I tell you what, I would rather have Diggs at a corner than any of these other corners. I would even experiment to put Diggs at safety. Like, well, do something. But no. And if I'm Diggs, I get it. I would be frustrated and fed up. I want to win. I don't want to be playing these stupid games that the Cowboys love to play. You have your,
Yeah, they
for whatever reason, you have your favorites and you keep them in there, and it's tearing down what is, and we could transition because we're beating this. We're beating. Look, this deserves to be beaten to a pulp because I want everybody to understand how bad Matt Eberflus is. This is might go down as the worst defense in not just Cowboys history, but NFL history. Like, especially with who knows what the Cardinals is going to do tonight. They might go off and drop 50 on us.
tomorrow.
Who knows? Tomorrow, they might go off and drop 50. So who knows? Uh, and
hey,
and this is
for you
ruining.
fantasy
Yeah, always look.
owners out.
Look, all you fantasy, all you betters, always pick the over whenever your person is playing the Dallas Cowboys. Look, and get a
I
cut,
personally
cut
played
me in,
fantasy, and
cut me in. I don't bet, but cut me in, because I told I yeah.
I'm yeah, I'm in the top two, and that because and whoever the opposing offense is gives me my most points for the defense. Opposing offense for the Dallas Cowboys, they give me my most points, and I changed a lot. And people don't think people are starting to get on to me now, so they're starting to do a little like acquiring here and there, but it's not going to be
This
good.
is and this is ruining what is one of Dak's greatest seasons as he's had in quite some time. I think what the 2000 was it the 2016 season when he was second or third in MVP voting. That we argued that he probably should have won over Lamar Jackson just because he had more yards and more touchdowns
Yeah.
than him. So this is ruining literally one of the greatest seasons that we've seen from Dak. He was playing. He is to me when we're talking about just playing quarterback. He is the best quarterback. I don't care who your favorite quarterback is. When we're talking about this season alone and these last 8 games, Dak has been the best quarterback on the field, especially knowing that his defense is trash and he has to be perfect in everything that he does. And not just him too. The receivers, they know that they have to be perfect in which way possible because that defense is that defense is going to give up points. So the way I can play defense for my defense is putting up points and making the other team one dimensional and hoping that they can at least stop one side of the aspect of the football, which they can barely do anyway. So I mean, what can Dak is just, and people want to get on the Broncos game because that was the last game. But y'all gonna see when he play the Cardinals, he gonna light the Cardinals up. Because when Dak plays a team, he makes that defense look like the Dallas Cowboys. That's right, I
Yes,
said it. That man needs to request a trade because I'm tired of him being on the Dallas Cowboys and y'all disrespect. Well, y'all was giving him respect up until that Broncos game, and I see a lot of disrespect coming back out for Dak. Like, haha, yeah, see, he needs to take a pay cut. No, everybody on that defense and that defensive staff needs to take a pay cut, and they need to go bring somebody in because Dak is playing crazy, lights out.
Jordan. Speaking of Dak, I think we need to have that conversation.
What conversation?
I think that conversation needs to come out.
What conversation is that?
CeeDee Lamb versus George Pickens.
CeeDee Lamb versus
Right, right, right,
George
right,
Ice
right, right,
Pickens.
right. Okay,
NFL
let's get into that.
NFL young boy.
But before we get into that, because
You
yeah,
already know what side I'm on, Dad. You
we
already
gonna
know, Josh, what side I'm on. I told y'all when he came here that we got a real number one receiver. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, before we get fired up on that, I'm sorry, but we had a little bit of video difficulties, technical issues just a second ago. Um, but you guys said a lot while I was back trying to get this video right. You guys were saying a lot. One thing that got to my attention is you said that you had to give it on the coaches that is the issue of our defense, but then you guys went and to say by name how talented we are. Um, we just don't have the players.
No, we stated that they share about 50-50% of the blame. But ultimately
Okay,
speaking,
50-50. That's what
right?
you guys saying. 50 on
I
the
don't say
talent,
50
50.
Ultimately,
50.
ultimately
I don't say
speaking,
50
though,
50.
I will say this, and I know this. I'm kind of going against what I just said. Still, the ultimate blame still should fall under Matt Eberflus, because you know what you have in your team, right? And it seems that they're not getting whatever you're putting, right? There seems to be it's like not only just talent wise, just confusion too as well. So there's got to be some wholesale change for that to happen, right?
Yeah, I'm doing
So
So
do you
30.
think
I'm doing
so you
30. I'm doing 30-70.
so
I
you
think it's
thinking that
I think
wait
it's
a minute,
70% on the coaches.
70%? So you think we have, like Dak Prescott said, that he not too concerned about getting somebody. He more concerned of the people that we have step up and
Well,
and,
Dak
and
well,
is only Dak is
that
only being
he's gonna
like,
say
yeah,
that
he's
because he's
being
a
a good
politician.
trooper. Yeah, he's being
He's a
politically correct.
politician, and
I
he's
need
gonna
Dak
say
to
that.
stop being politically correct. I need him to stop being the good guy and
right.
being the good face of the league. Be Aaron Rodgers for once. Like, just say
Do
it,
you
Josh.
like what as a
Because
good leader? What would you have him like?
yeah,
Yes,
you want him to
I
say,
would
yeah,
say.
bring in somebody else to take one of these bums' jobs.
Yeah, I mean, like in all, like it will light the fire, but like in all professionalism, you want your quarterback to be, ultimately speaking, to be professional.
Okay.
So,
Well, hopefully,
like,
hopefully that he's saying all that to us, but hopefully he's behind the scene telling them the real deal. I'm hoping he just not being that way all the way because somebody need to hear somebody, and I'm quite sure somebody. You get to the point that you don't want to say nothing to hurt Jerry Jones because right now Jerry Jones' ego is stating that what we have is good because he gave up Mika Parson, and by saying that we need all of these. It's saying that he's wrong, which he is wrong for what he did. But for somebody to step out and say that we need to do some trading because what we have sucks, it's directly saying you screwed up with this one, bro. You screwed up with this one. As you can see, like Jordan said, we the worst that it probably will ever be in NFL. And with that alone, how did we get there? It's because of what you did. So, but by you going out and saying something like that as a player or as a coach, you going directly against the man. So I'm like right now, Prescott, you already got your money, man. So go on, go on and say
he's
what you
gonna say
feel.
like he's gonna be like, look,
I
man,
don't even
like
know if
while the defense has problems, but the offense has problems too.
Not like
So like
defense though.
we no, it's not like defense, but he's like we can't try to stick out of somebody like a stick out of somebody's eye when there's like a 2x4 in our eye.
yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
So
but you look, if Dak wasn't on this offense, I don't know if they'd be the number one offense in the league.
No, it
That was
won't.
Mika Parsons. That was Mika Parsons for the defense. They might have not have been the number one defense, but they sure weren't going to be the last defensive in the league. He
That's for
was the
sure.
reason. He was the reason why the our defense was going to be successful in getting turnovers. He was going to be the reason why the defense was successful with pressures, with win pressures, with getting pressure on the quarterback, rushing throws. He was going to be the reason. Just exactly why the reason why Dak doesn't get sacked as much, the reason why the running game is successful is all predicated towards Dak. That was Minka Parsons to the defense. He was the cornerstone of that defense. He was the face of our team at one point. Last year, you would see Mika Parsons face up over the team versus Dak. So you go and take a person who is meaningful to the defense in every which way possible and trade him. So now this is the result you're gonna get. And you're gonna and on top of having an incompetent defensive coordinator. Because there's the reason I say it's 70-30 is because I think a lot of these players are playing out of position. You have
Yes,
Bland looking terrible when we know Bland is that dude. We know this already. But because of the style of defense you're running, you're letting him making him play 10 yards off, and these guys are picking up first downs on him. Like, what are we talking about? And Bland in certain games is the only one hitting. He's the only one stopping the running back, getting picks, getting like he's doing everything which way possible. You got Kenneth Murray, who we already talked about, but it's clear that he is not meant to be a Mike linebacker. Like it's clear. Like and then you have like Josh was saying, you have Houston, and the players love James Houston. That goes to show you that maybe, hey, I should play more James Houston, but for some reason you do not. So it is if Mozzie Smith is still on this roster, you have
I don't
Diggs
even know
with
how Monty Smith is on
you
this
have
roster. But
Diggs,
go ahead.
and we
Go
already
ahead.
you have Diggs, and you knew you wanted to trade Diggs before the. This is another reason why I don't blame Diggs for being the way he is, because you already tried to trade Diggs. So figure out what you want to do with Diggs. Figure out how to either amend it or trade him. I would say trade him at this point because I don't think it's gonna help the defense anyway. So trade him to go get somebody. At least if you get a Max Crosby, you can get somebody that can help stop the run and help.
Oh my! By the way, if the Dallas Cowboys get Max Crosby, look, I will stand on my desk. Y'all even want to even know if you. I literally just saw Max Crosby. Even though the Raiders lost that game, Max Crosby is a beast. He
Yeah,
will
yeah.
literally wreck a game for you. He will literally wreck a game for you. You want like this dude is good at the pass rush. He is good at like he's like fantastic at the pass rush. He's fantastic at the run. He's fantastic at everything, right? Has a pretty he's fantastic at like having a nice mustache too. So like he's just fantastic at everything, you know? So
And he
like
would
I don't
look good.
understand.
He would look good with a star on the side of his helmet. That's another thing too.
That's and I'm telling you, you would help. That would help Kenny Clark because Sam Williams ain't it. Dante Fowler ain't it. Right?
Those are
Have somebody that
they are rotational pieces. Exactly what they were when Mika was here. That's
yeah,
why they looked good when
they're
Mika was
rotational
here.
pieces.
They're rotational
They're
guys.
they're they're rotational guys, but like he's putting that you can't put rotational guys with rotational guys. You put rotational guys with studs, and that's what's missing on this team is a stud. Donovan Ezeraku is going to become a stud eventually. He's going to be like the next Demarcus Lawrence probably. He's going to be a stud and everything like that. But besides him, get somebody like what do you call it? Like Max Crosby, and you are going to be fantastic. That dude is nasty. Like,
Okay,
uh,
you think he's all that? What do you think he would be able to resolve the safety issue that we have?
you're not see. This is what I'm not talking about. This you're not talking about this. It's not just this year that you're going to be signing Max Crosby for.
Oh, okay,
This year is what like you're talking about the future now.
I
He's
got
a
you.
cornerstone of your defense. Him, Donovan Azaraku, and Deron Bland.
Overshawn
They're going to be the
Bland.
corner. Demar and Overshawn. They're going to be your cornerstones of your defense, right? You get like you start getting like some other like decent decent players at safety at
You
another
start
corner,
Wanye Thomas. Maybe you start Bell.
Wanye Thomas and everything like that. So like you get these players, right? You get these players that are actually, pretty just you get these players that are actually cornerstones of your defense, and then once you start getting all these draft picks in, you're probably not going to have your first round draft pick or one of your first round draft picks 2026, but use the other one, excuse me, to
Bless you.
get somebody else. Thank you to get somebody else. So all I'm going to say is this: uh, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, where are you at? If you went like you getting Max Crosby gets more people butts and seats. It gets more marketable because people are like, okay, there's hope. There's at least hope for the season. There's no hope for the season. But they'll think that there's hope for the season, right? And then and then you have a cornerstones for next season and beyond. Like like I think you might have one decent year from Dak Prescott, one more decent year from him, right? Where like when I say
I
decent,
think
excuse
I
me,
think you probably get 4 more.
I'm saying when I say decent, I mean like really good, like the level that he's playing right now.
Yeah, I
Well, I
think the
So
mean,
level that he's
if
playing right
they
now, I
keep
give
their
him 4 more.
yeah, I think if they keep the roster, then the offensive side. So, all right,
if
but
if if
but
they keep the number one receiver on deck, then
okay,
yes,
all right, okay,
then
all right,
yes, maybe.
okay. All right, we can go ahead. We can go ahead on and move on to this question that Joshua wanted to hit up on. He wanted to talk about Dak Prescott, and he wanted to talk about his receivers that he's throwing
His new
to. You
favorite
got,
weapon.
you got your tight end. You know what I'm saying, that he loves. Then you got these two number ones, and you guys don't believe there's a number one and number one. You guys believe they're just
I
one,
told
one and one.
you
Like the
when
Highlander,
we
you try to say
signed him.
he's like the Highlander, right? That's what you trying to say. They can only be one. That's what this
I
going to.
told
look, I'm not. Look,
you when
I'm
we
not.
signed him.
All I'm gonna say is this: game on the line. Who you throwing to? If when I say
That's
blanket
hard,
coverage,
man.
I'm
It's not
saying
hard for
man
me.
on man, and
It's hard for me.
Exactly.
both receivers are covered. If both receivers are covered,
One on one.
right? Who you throw
Man on man,
one on one?
Patrick Surtain is the corner on your guy. Who are you throwing the ball to when you
If you have
gotta
two
have
Patrick
But
him?
you said Practice
Surtains,
13. And we ain't gonna see them no more.
I'm just saying
no,
that's the
but we're
corner.
saying if you
We're
have
just saying that's the corner. Game
Patrick
online,
Surtain
that's the corner.
level
Patrick
players
Surtain can be on any
on
team.
both your
It's
receivers, who you throwing it to?
game on the line. You need a first down or a touchdown. Game on the line. This is it.
Well,
Man,
Patrick,
man to man.
so
Get it
so
out the
so
mud.
so
Who
you
are
you
you
got
taking?
we got two Patrick Sertains. You trying to say we got two Patrick Sertains out there? One is on CD, the other's on
We don't
Pickens.
even have to do. We don't even. How about this? I don't
Because
even have
of
to.
pop
It's
because
not that hard. We are taking George Pickens by a
I don't even have
landslide.
to. I don't even
by
have to do that.
landslide,
Dog.
by
We're taking the
landslide,
dog who's
no.
gonna get it. What do you mean, dog? He showed you in 4 games where there was no CD Lamb that, hey, Dak, don't need a ball. I'm open every single time. I don't care what corner's on me. Patrick
But
Surtain, I don't care. Do it from
well,
Jets,
but
I don't care. I'll take the number one and I eat. That's what all I do. That's all I gotta do. I don't
All I'm
need
saying
to
is
do
this.
all this fancy footwork to get separation in the middle of the field and post routes. I get
Uh,
it that way. I get it going. I get it going go routes. I
but you
get it
saying a
sideline. I get my
landslide
medium
though?
down.
But you saying a
Man, absolutely.
landslide?
We were talking about game on
I'll
the
say this.
line.
Man,
That's
CD
what we're saying.
Lamb, you make it seem like CD
I would say
Lamb
this.
as
What
mediocre.
happened in Green Bay? What happened
No,
in
no, no.
Green
So
Bay?
Last
What
year?
this is
happened in
what I'll
Green
say.
Bay?
Last year?
What
This
happened in
is what
Green Bay? What happened during the Broncos game?
I don't know
yeah.
what happened.
I was gonna
Exactly,
bring that up.
Dad.
I will say this. I will say this. CD Lamb overall, right? When it comes to like this dude gets separated, his route running skills are better than George Pickens. I'll give you that, right? However, when you need to like get back into the game, when you need to get back into the game, which Dak Prescott didn't do, when you need to get back into the game, instead of forcing it to CD, I am forcing it to George Pickens.
Man, cause
When
but
he's one
y'all
on
but
one,
look, I hear you, man. But did you know back in the day, unless you guys saying that CD had lost something. But CD,
Hold on. Like for what?
I mean,
CD was that guy. CD was
No,
that
no,
dude
no,
he
that
was not. We are
when
playing
he
in this
needed a
game.
play, he went out and he went to CD and CD
What
caught those
happened in the Green
passes.
Bay game? No, that is not the case.
So so
Anytime it was crunch time. Anytime where
but you
CD
said the
had to
Green Bay,
protect
you talking about Green
it,
Bay when we the playoffs Green
yes,
Bay?
Green Bay in the playoffs.
That's it.
Green Bay
Look,
in the
that
playoffs.
game alone,
That is
that game alone
there's
set me
multiple
down.
games like
I
that.
would have fired CD on that game. So
There's
if you're gonna use
multiple
that
games
game, if
like
you're gonna use
that.
that game, I would have fired CD on that game because I thought he was really
It's
soft. Yeah,
will
but
say
we
this
haven't
though.
seen
I will say
Pickens
this.
in that kind of game with Dak though. We only got
No. See, I
not
will
with
say
Pat,
this.
not with
I
Dak.
would say every
No,
single game without
I
CD,
will
we
say
saw
this. I will
Pickens
say
in
this.
that
I will say this with
situation.
George Pickens. George Pickens is the exact opposite. You do that to him. Now, George Pickens may like there. Look, you push George Pickens in the back
George
like that.
Pickens is look.
There's gonna be a
We
scruff on
saw
the
the
field.
clip
Right
of
again,
Mike
I
Irvin.
told you,
You saw the clip of Mike Irvin. He said, "I played in the Mr. Pain."
but
That's George Pickens.
look,
He
that's
don't
but
care.
but
He's
look
gonna
though,
get it.
but
He
look,
ain't. He's not
but
getting.
but
He's not the one
but
getting
CD
motion
was doing
and getting
all of
open.
that
That's
that you're
all
talking
CD.
about.
He's
CD was
not going
doing
and
all
looking
of
into
that
the
what you were
pocket.
talking about the season to make him be number one.
No,
CD
he
was
was
that
not.
dude. Not
No, he was
was
not.
yes
He
he
was
did.
not.
He was.
Yes he
No, he
did.
was
Was he that
not.
But
dude?
he
No,
no,
he was
I,
not.
we was
He was.
tripping because the game, Green Bay. I didn't know who that dude was. I'm like,
Look,
who's
I
that
will say
guy?
this. Look, look. I'll be the voice of reason. Like I will say this. Can you get CD Lamb is good. Like he's good. Like as far as finesse. He's like a
He's a
sports
he's
car.
a he's a
He's a
run
he,
after the catch guy.
he's a nice
He's
he's a
great
he's
at
a
getting
he's a
separation
Porsche.
and getting run after the catch.
He's a very he's like a Porsche, if you will, right? He's a very finesse guy. I mean he'll trust me. He's a overall better wide receiver. However, you have George Pickens. That dude is like
Is a
a
muscle
Mustang.
car. He is
He's
a
a
Shelby
Mustang.
GTO. He's
Yeah,
gonna get
he's a guy
dirty.
that's
He's
yeah.
he's gonna catch
I
anything
would say
and
they both
everything
need
that's
each other.
tight coverage.
I
He's
would say
gonna
they
make
both need
sure
each
his
other.
feet are in bounds. He's gonna do his ball tracking ability. I say is better than CD's. His weight and his body
I would say
placement. His
I would say
body
it's probably the best in the league.
his
But
body
see,
place. And hold
but
on, Dad. Hold on, Dad. We're not even getting into the fact that George Pickens is probably the number one in the league of getting penalties and getting your
No,
team
he
set
is.
up on the
He is.
goal yard line.
He is. He is
When
number
the
one in the
dude
league.
don't get the ball, he's still making impact plays for your team. That's what I'm saying. It's just different. And I told you this when he was with Steelers, and everyone was like, I don't know. He had bad quarterbacks. But now that he's with
I thought
Dak,
he was going to be good.
it's
I didn't think he was
different.
going to be
It's
this good.
just different. He's different. That's what I'm
okay,
saying.
okay,
He is
but
a true number one in every
I
sense
hear
of
you,
the
man.
word.
But I'm
That's
just
all
trying to
I'm
figure
saying.
out how that you guys say is like a landslide, though. I mean, I'm like,
I
didn't say. You
shouldn't say
said
it
you
like a
guys.
landslide. I'm
I didn't say
saying
that.
it's like a
I,
landslide.
but
I
what? I
I
mean,
keep on.
we're still talking about the guy who
No,
we're still
we're
talking
talking
about the
about if
guy
we're
who
talking
got
about if the game is
135
on the line.
receptions, 135 receptions,
Yes,
1749 receiving yards, dude.
yes,
That,
yes.
I mean,
You're right, Dad.
12
Yes,
touchdown, 12 touchdown. And this is
right,
all in us. Come on, I mean, like
right.
13 per yard
I
per catch.
understand.
13. Okay.
I
All
understand.
right.
I
Let me
understand.
see if I let me
Look,
find out.
look. I understand that.
Okay, but
Guess what?
I'm just saying.
That's the product of when you have Dak Prescott as your quarterback. Now
Oh,
that Pickens, now
okay.
that's what I'm saying.
That could be
You got
both
Pickens.
though. That could be both though. That could be
You got
that quality
Pickens.
of the
You
reason
got Pickens.
why
I seen
Dak is
I
like that
seen
because he
Amari
got
Cooper do
CD
it.
on the lamb.
No, I seen Amari Cooper do it. I seen tight ends go get paid do it.
Murray
I seen
Cooper,
Des Bryant do it. I seen
Murray Cooper didn't do what
no,
CD Lamb did. Sorry.
Amari Cooper did do what
No,
CeeDee Lamb did. He
no.
came
CD
in
Lamb
and
got
changed life.
CD Lamb got franchise history. I mean, franchise history. So you can't say Murray did that because
Amari didn't do that.
he has
Amari
not.
came in
He,
and was that
okay, he
guy
was good,
and changed.
but what I'm saying,
Yes, he was really good.
based on stats, he didn't have Murray Cooper did not have a better season than CD Lamb.
But he did.
I'm just bringing the numbers.
But
I'm just bringing the numbers.
okay, you want to bring up numbers? Let's bring up numbers.
Yeah, but you
Let's bring up
saying
numbers.
that Murray Cooper was better than that.
There's multiple 1,000-yard receivers under Dak. Cooper Beasley was that guy when Dak was in when he played with Dak.
But he just did he almost went 2,000 yards now. I'm just trying to say he almost went. But you're talking about
He did not
17,000, Jordan. 17,000. I mean 17,000, 1,700. 1,700.
Hard to get to.
1,700 yards.
Only like two receivers.
1,700 yards. That's almost 2,000. That's almost 2,000.
It's not though. It's not.
But no, it is almost. It's not 2,000, but it's almost.
Not in the NFL. No, it's not. We can look at it and say that's almost 2,000, but in the NFL, no, it's not.
No. Okay. All
No,
right.
it's not.
Let me see. Let me. Okay. Who?
When they pull up and say CD almost 2,000 yard receiver. No,
Okay.
Now you know
Who's
that
almost a
1,500
2,000 season?
is a lot.
Huh?
no. I think there's only two receivers that
17,
can beat you.
1,700 is a
No,
lot of
Calvin Johnson.
yards.
I think it's Calvin Johnson and it
Better
might
than
be
better than number
Jordan
88.
Jefferson.
Better than any of the 88s. Better than any of the
That
88s.
that is true, Dad. But guess
Uh,
what?
but I'm just trying to tell you, you
That's what
saying
I've been saying. He
landslide. You
wasn't
saying a
catching balls out.
landslide.
You yes, I said a landslide. By this measurement, Josh said who is the guy you're going to when the game is on the line. I said by a landslide. We're talking about
He said by a
all
landslide,
over.
George Pickens. He
Yes,
didn't say that
that's what I'm
he was
saying.
overall
Stop
better.
taking it out of
He said
context.
if the
Out of
game was on
overall
the
better on
line,
what
Okay,
that
okay.
person can do. If the
I
game is
understand
on
that.
the line,
I understand the answer now. You're saying it's a landslide that I'm picking George Pickett. That's not even a thought over CD if it's a guys if it's the game on the line who I'm going to. Okay, I
yes.
understand that. I understand that.
with
Because
that being
I was
said,
thinking you were saying he's a
what's your answer?
landslide better than CD Lamb, and I'm like, nah.
No, so
So I was
what's
taking it wrong.
what's your answer? What's your answer to that?
Who?
Games on the line, both are covered. Both are like covered like
Right now,
white on rice.
I'm going with
Yeah.
Pickens. Unfortunately, after all of this big argument I was going with. But like I said before, that Green Bay game, what I was saying is that game Jordan keep going to it. That was a game. If you're going to determine anything about CeeDee Lamb, that's the game. I
That
would say
shows
I wanted him to trade CeeDee Lamb because I thought he was soft. I didn't like nothing about that dude. I thought it was
I
completely soft, and I'm like, this dude
look,
need to be gone somewhere. Even though all of
I'm
the
not
stuff he
saying
done. Oh, I
he's
did. I
soft.
said he was soft that game.
No, I know he was soft that game. I'm not even saying he's soft in general, but I'm saying is
I'm not saying he's
I
soft
don't know.
because CD played
There's
injured. What
some
I'm saying
like
there's a difference
like
in
this
mentality when you coming up against that dude. You saw
this
his body language when he played Patrick Surtain. That's all I'm talking about. It's just different. A
George
true
Pickens.
number
If
one is not gonna do that. That's all I'm
George
saying.
Pickens, if you see this, and I'm sorry to say this, and I don't mean it in the
A
bad way. I mean this
derogatory
in the good
way.
in I mean this in the best way possible and like in the most. I'm trying to give you his compliments as much as I can. Like CD Lamb is a gentleman, right? George Pickens is a goon, man.
Look,
Like
look,
that
look,
dude
look.
is a
No, look. I got
goon.
the perfect scenario
He's a
for you, Josh.
goon. Dog.
I got the
He's a
perfect
goon.
scenario. Hold on, Josh. I got a perfect scenario for you. There's a reason that people love Batman over Superman. Superman is by far leagues better than Batman. But for some reason, Batman makes billions of dollars in the box office. Superman just makes millions. It's just different. You got a guy
Yeah.
who don't have all the same things that the other guy has. The other guy might be faster. The other guy might be, but line us up against one on one, and let's see who's gonna go get it. That's George Pickens.
Look, I
That's all I'm
look
saying, man.
if
You
I
can
was in a
like
dark
CD. I
alley,
ain't got no problem with CD. CD's on our 10. But there's just something different when you talk about George Pickens. That's just CD Lamb. It reminds me of Michael Irvin. Like
like
everything
the
Michael
dude's
Irvin came out and said during his podcast, it embodies what I believe a number 80. I told y'all when they
that
gave CD
that
88.
dude's a
When he
joker,
declined
man.
88, that should have told you
He's a
what it meant
joker.
to him. He didn't want to be 88.
Which which
If you
which
would have, that's what I'm saying. It's just not. He's just not that type of guy. But he is a good receiver. He's a really good receiver.
His
But I gotta
he's a
look at him differently because you have the one of the top five
he is
passing quarterbacks
super
in the league
he's
on
super
his side.
competitive. He is super competitive. So I think look, I'm not saying that he got somebody hurt on purpose of what play, but like if he's the type of guy that like if he don't get it, nobody's gonna get it. Like
right.
he's that guy. He's a guy that you would want
You're just saying he's that
you would
dude.
want if you go he's a dude that like if you were in a dark alley, I want George Pickens next to me. I
I
want
get
George
it. I
Pickens
get
next
it.
to
I get
that
it.
dude is crazy.
I get it.
He is crazy. Like he I don't know. Like I feel and this as good as Dak Prescott is, I don't feel like Dak Prescott is maximizing George Pickens as much as he can be maximizing him too.
No,
Like
but because
he's not
it's also
unleashing
his
him
first
as much
year
as he
and
can.
he's it's his first year and he's still learning him. But he's learning. We see every game. He's just throwing stuff that he would not normally throw.
That
He's
dude
just
is
throwing stuff to
dangerous.
him.
Yeah, he is.
And
He
But
and
is
like we
dangerous.
saw
let you
that, like
know, just let you
every
know, I
game
was
he's making a
arguing.
catch.
Yeah, I was arguing because I thought you were saying, but I agree with you, and I also agree, and I picked Pickens as well. But I was under the impression, and I was reading it, and I listened to it wrong, that you were saying that he's a landslide higher of a player than CD.
No,
But
no,
you
like
corrected me, so I understand
No,
that. So so
if
I
we're
I just
talking players, if we're talking players, I think to me, I think they're tied. If we're talking players, because I think there's stuff that, like we've had this conversation before, I think there's stuff that Pickens does
you can't be
way
wrong.
better than
right
CD. But
right.
it
I
all
mean,
depends
I
on
get
who you
that.
like. But
I get
yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
got I got CD. I got I got CD way high. I got him probably top three in the league. I have George Pickens a little under. I think I'll compare them Chase and T Higgins. Like
I
they're like
wouldn't
a
even put T Higgins on the
I
same.
would
Because
say
if you say
they're
T
the
Higgins,
better
I think
they're the
Pickens
better
is
of
better
them.
than T Higgins.
Like I think they're the better form of Chase and Higgins. They're like the better form of it. But like people are only not the only reason why people are saying that George Pickens is not has it's not as good as a wide receiver as these other cats are is because George Pickens has not had a a good quarterback or good offensive scheme for him to be uh
Right.
him to
Exactly.
be like
And and still
broadcasted in like him to be
and
advertised
even
in.
in
And this
this
dude
system, he is not getting. He's getting plays thrown to him, but he is not getting design plays as much as CD is. CD is getting design plays to put him in motion, to put him in the slot, to get him more open. He's
is
getting
good as
plays behind the line to get him the ball in his hands. He's getting more. He's getting more targets than Pickens, and Pickens is doing less with more. He's getting less targets and we're doing more with it. And then, like I say, even when he doesn't have the ball, he's getting PIs that's putting your team, setting them up to be on goal line. I don't know how many times we got in goal line because of Pickens, and it led to touchdowns.
all I'm
Like,
saying is this. All I'm saying is this is that if CD Lamb is bracketed, I'm always throwing it to George Pickens. I'm sorry. Uh
yeah,
or 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 Ferguson or whatever like that.
So
I'm
when
not like but
what did they do with how did the Denver Broncos play them? Who did they put on who? Did they double CD and put Sertain on Pickens, or they put Sertain on
no Pickens,
no,
no
they put Sertain on Pickens.
Sertain on.
They put
and then
yeah,
doubled
they put Sertain on Pickens
and doubled?
and double CD. Like
Okay,
just like I said, just like I said. I was like, if you were to combat them, but here's the thing. Guess what? George Pickens was getting the better of Sertain. Like it was a back and forth. It wasn't like Sertain was shutting him down.
but
He
then
was not
then
shutting him down at
right,
all.
right. But then Sertain, did Sertain get hurt?
He got hurt. So
Right.
that's how good their defense is, man. Their defense is just really, really good. And then and then you if you don't stop Bo Nix and you let him throw
Yeah,
for four
right,
touchdowns,
right.
Look,
I mean,
man, you
You're putting
you about to
you're
talk about our
putting Dak
defense. You about to put
in a
our defense
situation.
back on the
I know.
Yeah,
chopping block.
I would say no. I'm not. Look, the defense is what it is. We already talked about it. I'm just saying is you're just feeding into the defense's. Excuse me. You're feeding to the Broncos defense's hands because you're always going to throw the ball, and they're really good at rushing a passer. And sorry, Terrence Steele and Tyler Guyton, they're probably one of the weakest
they got
links. If not,
exposed.
Terrence Steele is the weakest link. Yeah, it's the weakest link of your passing. And so they got exposed by that. So the thing is, right? uh, you're gonna get Dak was in he was in like survival mode, So that's this is what happens. So still even with them in survival mode, and I think and I think this is the case because he was in survival mode, he had to go by with what he knows. But I think the more and more that he plays with George Pickens, I think the more and more he's going to trust him. He's going to be like, "Oh, CeeDee Lamb's double covered, George Pickens." you know, I know I'm going to have George Pickens like open. So
Mm.
that's what I say to that.
Yeah,
Did the Broncos play?
that's all I got.
Did the Broncos play today?
Yep, and he went back to his regular status again. for not throwing one touchdown and two touchdowns. Well, excuse me, one interception and two touchdowns. And I think they lost the game, to be honest, or they won. But
Yeah,
he did not play well.
27-7.
No, it was 18-15. They
Yeah,
won.
Oh,
versus
It
Texans.
was not
But
not
not the showing that he had versus the
oh,
Cowboys defense.
yeah.
yeah, the Broncos and the Texans. So their defense held the Texans to 15, and they only
Like
scored
this dude only
18
had
points.
one touchdown for 3 quarters up until the end. You know what I mean? So
Right.
this dude is not but he doesn't need to be great. That's the problem. Dak Prescott needs to be great for that to happen, and that's as I say, I'm getting to the defense, but it
But
is what
that's
it
crazy. But
is.
the Broncos scored 32 points on them.
On who?
I mean, the Giants scored 32 points on the Broncos. That's weird. But I know Eagles only scored
Well,
17. The Jets scored 11. We scored 24. Texas scored
yes,
15.
there's a difference. There's
Yeah.
a difference when you have when you have a because that game all the biggest the reason why the Broncos won is because they went insane in the last quarter.
Yeah,
But
I'm looking at them,
if you have a run pass combo that's feeding off each other, then it's a lot easier. When it's a low scoring game for most of the 3 quarters, then you're going to be fine. But if you're scoring touchdown after touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, you have to keep up with the Broncos
and that's hard to do.
offense.
That's hard to do because their defense so good.
When they have when their defense is like that, that's not a good spot to put you in.
Yeah, because
So
they held
yeah, that's
the Bengals to 3 points. They held the Chargers. Well, the Chargers won with 23 points. They held the Titans to 12. They held the Colts. Well, the Colts beat them 29. The Colts was rolling. They held the Saints at 19. They held the Cardinals again at 7. The 49ers. They held the 49ers to 9 points. They held the Bills at the first game, though, killed them 31. Ooh, jeez. They held the Chiefs at 0 because they shut them out. They held the Bengals. The Bengals beat them the second time. So I'm looking
But
at
once again,
I'm
the
looking at the
Bills defense
scores.
is not bad. So if the Dallas Cowboys had a decent, like an average defense,
Right.
they would have won that game.
Yeah.
Right? They would
Yeah.
have won the
Yeah,
game.
because it
But
puts
it's just
it's a different situation that the
No,
game
that
probably would have played out differently.
yeah, because
Well, I mean, this is the same
we would have
defense
gave Doctor
that
more
gave
chance
up.
to with the ball.
Yeah, this is the same defense that gave up
yes.
200 rushing yards to the Carolina Panthers, who, by the way, had Donald. Come on, man. You
I
let
know
Donald rush for 200 yards on y'all?
Donald
Come on,
had
man.
his
Jerry, what happened to Kenny Clark? What happened to Clark being the run stopper because Mika Parsons can't stop the run?
man
What happened to that?
when you have
You
Donald
gave up
tells you
200 yards.
when you have Donald tell you that he going to run all that and he came and he does it and after he told you,
I came, I saw, I conquered. Come on, man.
you know what I'm saying? He told you that y'all about to pack your bags. That's crazy. And then
He said we should wear a seatbelt. And they weren't wearing a seatbelt at all.
It
He said
sure
y'all should
wasn't.
wear a
He
seatbelt.
was over here looking like Jonathan Taylor, doing whatever he wanted.
wow.
200 yards is insane to me.
Yeah.
That and that
From
look
who? It
to the
make it
Panthers.
worse.
We lost to the Panthers. That let y'all know how bad this defense is. That let y'all know, like we just it is what
If
it
it was
is. It's gonna
Henry,
be
I'd
a
be
rough.
like, yeah, I get it. It was
No,
Donald. Like, come on.
no,
Man.
like I got the info on every single one of them players. I'm finna go all the way today.
Yeah,
Like
because
he's
he
like,
know
bet on me.
right.
Look, that's it. Look, if I was a better, I would have definitely bet after he said that. I would have been like, yeah, here, put all my chips in right here.
Yeah, it's
I
that
would have thought that our defense would come up and be like, oh no, that ain't happening, bro. You talking all that head? Oh, we gonna see what's up. But man, oh my God, it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing.
Yeah.
So, do we have something else before we go? Because it's getting that time for us to wrap it up.
okay. Well,
I
I was gonna say, well, you guys can talk about something else, but I wanted to give the predictions for tomorrow before we go. But you guys can talk about something else.
Oh, I definitely a win for us tomorrow at home.
oh, you think we win?
Yeah,
Oh, I think we
You're
win
joking,
tomorrow.
right?
No,
Are you being sarcastic?
no, I'm
Oh,
being serious. I think we win tomorrow at home.
What is
Honestly,
our record versus the Cardinals? Because I don't think we've beaten the Cardinals
with
in the
Kyler
last.
Murray,
I don't think we've beaten the
I, I
Cardinals
I just think that our offense this year is going to.
to death.
I think
We just sat
look like
here.
I know. Our defense is the worst in NFL history. I get that, but
Well,
I think at home they're going to show up and they're going to win. I don't know how. I just think we're going to win that game tomorrow.
well, I
honestly,
hope so, but I hope
yeah,
so.
I actually have the same feeling too. I actually do have Dallas Cowboys winning this one, and it's going to be a high scoring game. I think it's going to be like a 41 to like a 40-31 game.
See,
Look, I won't be
I
surprised to be
wouldn't.
44 to 43. Our defense ain't holding nothing. I just think our offense is going to outscore them.
That's my thing. I believe our offense can be stopped here and there. I think overall they can drop 40 anytime they want to, but they can a defense get a stop on them? Yes. Can our defense get a stop on them? I don't know. I
Uh,
don't think so.
but
To me, that's the difference.
it would have to be. I mean, I have to think like, is Arizona that potent of
Arizona is
a
not is look, the only teams that I know
You
for
saying
sure that
Is Arizona what?
that potent of an offense?
Okay, so you got to stop putting that. You got to stop putting that away. Is the
What?
Broncos that putting up an offense? Be honest.
No, but I'm saying is Arizona
You
better
just
than?
look.
Not. Do you think Arizona has a better offense than Broncos?
Yes.
Okay, then we might have some problems.
Okay.
yeah.
No.
You got Kyler Murray
Whoa. Do
and you got
you think
Marvin
Arizona
Harrison
has a
Jr.
better defense? Do you think Arizona has a better defense than the Broncos?
Oh heck no, no,
Okay.
no,
All
I
right.
don't.
So I mean, Will Johnson, that rookie over there, is pretty good, but I think they also got Buda Baker in there too. I think they have like a lot of people that's been like their defensive line like back in the day. Like if you like saw the lineup for like defensive line, it would have been like you know crazy. You've been like, wait, like these guys, like so, like who's the guy that played for the Arizona, not Arizona, for the Baltimore Ravens back in the day, defensive lineman Campbell,
Yeah.
Calais Campbell. He like okay, yeah, Calais Campbell. He's on there. Um, you know, just those type of guys. They're like back in the day, like all right, if you had this crew right here, But I
I mean
think this,
their defense it's not nowhere near Dallas Cowboys defense. That's basically what it their defense can get stops. They've had
yeah,
a lot of close games where they lost, but at least the game was close, right? That just puts
yeah.
it
While like yeah, you're gonna find. I think this guy's gonna find out. Johnson is gonna find out like okay, I think he's gonna not play like a rookie, but there's gonna be a reason. He's gonna play very very good for like a rookie, but when you're playing against when you're playing against George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb,
yeah. Exactly. I'm not worried about us scoring. I'm worried about
Right.
that one three and out, that the offense might get, might be the one that puts the other team up, and that just changes the whole game, right? But I mean, you have the greatest kicker of all time on your team, and you have Dak. So I'm always gonna say you're gonna put up points, but and if Dak can get the ball last, and he's just down three, I believe we can win the game. But this defense is so bad that I just don't know. Like if this offense doesn't get the lead first, if the opponent's offense can get the lead first, then I think we're just gonna lose the game. That's just how I feel because now
Mm.
you're putting Dak in the situation in that offense every time we get on the field, we have to score, and they know that when they get on the field. So that has to be like added, like pressure in a sense of we have to score because if we get a three and out, that could be the three and out that costs us the game. Like we can't have one three and out. Like that's crazy. Like they can't because if they do, they could lose the game.
That got to be 100%. He got to play
Yeah,
100% to win games. I just
they
think
have
at
to at
home
least
he's going
put
to
up
have that kind of
three
game tomorrow.
every single time they go out on the field. They have to at least put up three.
Well, we'll see. We'll
They
see.
cannot have a
Cooper
three and out.
Beebe's Cooper Beebe's back, so
guy.
He's fresh.
This guy.
I'm just saying. I think if Cooper Beebe was back too, I think they would have had a different game. Brock Hoffman he's good. I mean, like he's solid, but he ain't Cooper Beebe.
No.
Like he doesn't get past the second level, like Cooper Beebe does. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's like world renowned, but like there's a huge difference between Brock Hoffman and Cooper Beebe.
All right. All right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to see if we can get back together. Make sure we can get back together and get in routine again so we can get this all the time so we can come on and bring it straight to you guys. If you have not yet hit that like button or subscription to subscribe for us, go ahead and do that right now so we can go ahead and make it happen. So this is it. Set it straight with fam.
For the greatest series of all time.
That's right.
I'm a baseball fan. I'm a non-baseball fan.
Woo!
So shout out to the Dodgers. That was, and the Blue Jays. Thank you for losing. Kendrick Lamar.
Nah. All right. Here it is. Bobby B with my boys, Joshua and Jordan. Setting it off. Setting it straight with fam. See you guys.